nasty comment or don't make any personal comment, because even
It is, Jeremy, yes. I mean, which never fails to attract controversial headlines. But frankly, the difficulty is that the premise of the show is to prod and provoke its captive housemates into revealing their true selves. Now, the results aren't always entertaining, and in the experience of this big brother for Shilpa Shetty, it has been deeply distressing.
Let's give a warm Bollywood welcome to Shilpa Shetty!
In India, she is a superstar, appearing in films since she was a teenager and earning awards and accolades throughout her career.
Hello!
As Shilpa Shetty entered the house, she said the only thing she hoped for was to keep her self-respect and dignity. But thousands of viewers have been appalled at the way Shilpa is being treated by the other female housemates.
My name is Shilpa. Jackie, is that right? Well, forget it. It's like that you want to understand it's not a sentence. You have Shilpa. Right, when I say Shilpa, if it comes out wrong, that's not my fault. It's okay, you can try. Did you say your nose? No. Stand the nose to basically that get your face in there. I can't believe she does her makeup in the toilet, all this group of walks down on her face. Yes, I understand. I've got to be careful. She made a way on the beach. The hair is on my face. You said to me, I don't want to fight in front of these cameras. No, I'm not sorry for us to fight. I wanted her only to say that was me. No. For God's sake, we're living in a diverse society with mixed ethnic minorities. You know, everyone as a person would be Asian that you work with or you walk on the street with. Doesn't she know how to pronounce someone's name? You know, I think that's just ignorance.
Big Brother, in a statement, insisted we take this matter very seriously, and Big Brother does not tolerate bullying or racist abuse in any form. Big Brother is closely monitoring all the housemates and will take appropriate measures to reprimand such behaviour where necessary.
Let's not be shocked there's racism in the house, because that is in society. Don't be so, naive. However,
The chilling gang bashing captured by security camera is evidence Melbourne's Indian community is being racially targeted. 2 weeks after the meeting, the victim is still suffering horrific injuries, and as told Jacqueline Freegard, is just one of many.
The attack is as disturbing as it is brazen. The gang repeatedly kicking and punching Suraj Sharma, leaping over seats as they knock him to the ground, one even laughing about it. And these are the 5 faces of those involved. Police deny the attack was racially motivated, but Suraj says as the group beat him, they shouted for the Indian student to go home.
They take all the stuff, those get bashing continuously. And then the way they're bashing me, I mean, the school.
He suffered a broken cheekbone, lost teeth, and 2 weeks on is still forced to drink his meals through a straw. His fellow student, Kanan Kabanda, is the victim of a similar crime. He's now blind in one eye after being assaulted by up to 20 men.
He came and he asked, do you have a wallet? I said no. And he just gave me a punch. They were wearing a knuckle punches. Before I put a comment or change something to be a successful man, I would aim to be like, do something different now. And then now after this case, it's making the morale down. It makes me feel scared.
Indian community leaders believe these are race-based attacks, and they say over the past 12 months, more than 70 Indians have been assaulted across Melbourne.
Not limited to students, even middle-aged people have been bashed, couples have been bashed, girls have been bashed, so not limited to students. No, it's limited to it's the thing someone can bash them into their lives, lose an eye, and not have the support. Totally outrageous.
Jacqueline Freegard, 9 years.
Injuries on his head and face. The 3 men who've been arrested will now be charged with murder by the police as well. Remember, this has been a very critical development in the case to find out the reason, the cause for the death of Arunachal Pradesh Yojna that has led to protests on the treatment of students from the Northeast. Let me go across to my colleague Tanima Biswas on the phone line for more on this. Tanima, now a confirmation coming from the report that the death took place due to injuries on his head and face.
That's right, Shweta. We have been told by our sources that the post-mortem report, the final one, which is in fact going to be submitted in the High Court in a short while from now, does identify the cause of death to be that due to injuries which have happened on window, which have taken place on window Tanya's face and hair. The exact medical term which has been used to cognizance of this case. Last week itself is actually asking the Delhi police and the Delhi government to how such an incident, which seems to suggest was taking place in the capital city.
In America. It was an historic moment for America when they voted in for their first black president, Barack Obama, in given America's history. He is a Christian, although his middle name is Hussein, which right-wingers have used to claim that he's a Muslim, Antichrist, and so on, which further fuels racial and discriminatory sentiments. Racism in Australia. In 2009 and 2010, there were increasing racist attacks against Indians. Many Indians in Melbourne fearing racist attacks. Indian government issued an advisory warning about the dangers of traveling to Melbourne. Racism in Asia. In Cambodia, there had been a strong anti-Vietnamese sentence. In Indonesia, there has been a lot of violence against the affluent Chinese population. Malaysia enforced discriminatory laws limiting access to university education for Chinese students who are the citizens by birth of Malaysia. In India, there has been a long discrimination against the lowest class in Hinduism, the Dalits, or untouchables and religious violence. Well, good morning everyone. You're watching the Teenager Show. Alright, after watching these videos and news headlines, I believe one and all present over here must have understood today's topic. Any guesses? Any? What would be today's topic? No guesses? Seriously? Okay. Today's topic is racism or racial discrimination. I'm Krishna, your host for today's program, and you're watching the Teenager Show on healing racism. Racism has been a stain on the soul of minorities since ages. But a series of high-profile incidents in recent years have prompted tougher action from different government and private bodies. But the question is, why racism continues to be a problem? What is being done to tackle discrimination? And whether it can be eradicated from the society forever or not? Well, to better understand this, we have invited experts in our studios. Please welcome Mr. Weber, who is a famous sociologist, Dr. Shaurya, a famous school psychologist, and finally, for a different perspective from an educator, we have Miss Ankita from the Education Department of Delhi. Please give them a huge round of applause. Thank you. This educational discussion aims to raise the level of mutual understanding and stimulate militant action on our part in this fight against racism. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start with Mr. Weber. Sir, can you please tell us what is the basic meaning of racism and how can one recognize that a particular incident is a racial prejudice or not?
That's a very good question, Krishna. And it's really very important for all of us to know what exactly racial discrimination is. Well, racial discrimination is when someone is bothering, threatening, or treating a person unfairly because of the color of their skin, their ethnic or cultural background, their religion, or the country that they come from. There are several forms of racial discrimination, and some of it are verbal abuse or threats, unwelcome remarks, insulting jokes, newspaper articles, constant staring on roads, and name calling like we often use in the summer for South Indians, and physical assault, other gestures, etc. Let me make it more clear to you with the help of an example. Once there was a black man.
And by black man you mean a South African or an Indian or what?
No, I don't mean any nationality. It's only
That's the skin color.
Yes, only visual color. Once there was a black man who went to see the apartment. He called the landlord to make sure if it was still available, and after seeing the many person, do you know what happened? The landlord became uncomfortable and he changed his mind, and he said that the apartment is already rented. And this is what racial discrimination is.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Weber.
My pleasure.
Well, we all have been hurt in our life once or one time or another, so we know the pain involved. If we don't stop the cycle now, our children will face the same, and so will theirs. We have to stop the cycle. Well, Ms. Ankita, I believe that it's the duty of the educators to educate children how to combat racism by punishing racist behaviors and honoring pluralism. But I feel that few administrators or educators do not address racism because they feel it's out of their immediate control, or they can't control the children's emotion because they do not want to take time out from other subjects. Is that true?
You're right, Krishna. Educators need to do more than simply identify and understand racism and its impact on students. They need to actively counteract this problem. But I'm sorry to say that some teachers might have given up trying, as countering racism needs a lot of hard work and time, and there may be no rewards in it. So what they think is that why to waste our energy and time when we don't even get the credit? This is useless. That's what they think. But this is very wrong. They should not do this. They should not avoid this issue and should do their best to combat this problem so that it is eradicated from the society.
Very well said, Ms. Ankita. Very well said. Now, I would like to go to Dr. Shaurya for a response. What do you think of Ms. Ankita's comment?
Yeah, of course. But I do agree that avoidance of this issue can have two damaging consequences for the classroom. Firstly, racism diverts the attention of minority students from academic pursuits, as it creates a very negative impact in their mind. Because pursuits are strong negative experiences for these students, and they tend to spend their time and energy in non-constructive ways. Secondly, avoiding or ignoring racism sends a signal to the others that yes, racism is accepted as a negligible issue. Therefore, its healing is really, really important.
Exactly, I totally agree with you, Dr. Shaurya. Now is the time to involve the studio audience in our show. I welcome you all to our show. Anyone from the audience who would like to ask any questions from our experts? Yes. So, what's your name?
Sir, my name is Dhruv and I am from class 12.
Okay.
And my question is to Ankita ma'am. Ma'am, racial discrimination is a burning issue and we cannot neglect it. But my concern is how we can stop racism.
Well, if you're a victim of racism, or you see on yourself, or with someone's help, it's very important that the person who racially attacks or harasses others are made aware of their actions and held responsible for it. Further, there are a few steps that can be kept in mind while tackling this problem. Firstly, recognize and take action against this racism within yourself, your school, workplace, community, or anywhere else you see it. It's very important to stop. Then, if you feel safe, talk to the person whose actions according to you are racist and tell that person to stop.
But ma'am, if I do not feel comfortable in talking to the person racist, so what should I do?
Okay. If you talk to someone else you trust, most of the time it happens that the people, they don't feel comfortable or safe to talk to those who assault them. So you can talk to your friends, teachers, or anyone else you trust and share your experience. Maybe they can help you. And further, you should offer your help to others who are being discriminated against. Do you know whether your school has human rights policies or not?
No ma'am, I am not aware of it.
You should check to see that. And every of the students, you should see whether your school has human rights policies or not. And if they don't, ask them to develop such policies for your own welfare.
Anyone else who's interested from the audience? Yeah.
So, Mr. Shaw. So, I feel if we highlight racist incidents, wouldn't it lead to a worse situation? It could make someone feel guilty and those of minority backgrounds feel vulnerable and insecure. What do you think, sir?
See, certainly disproportionately and with sensitivity. However, the much more substantial danger lies within ignoring the incidents, because this gives students the impression that adults support racist behavior. Ignoring an incident means that the person who has been attacked may feel vulnerable and insecure, and so do their families and friends. Therefore, students can further think that the school is not taking proper care of them and all the teachers are hostile to them. Therefore, they cannot be trusted.
Yes, I personally believe that ignoring an issue is seldom, if ever, appropriate. It permits the person responsible for this racial abuse or his or her friends or any other witnesses to assume that there is nothing wrong with the behavior and the behavior may therefore be repeated, which is very, very wrong. This is not done. It sends wrong signals to others. Moreover, the victims may also assume that the schools or authorities are very indifferent towards this matter and they might not complain if such incidents happen in future. So what I think is that schools and authorities should adopt a holistic approach towards this problem and should look into its content and take action within the school's overall framework.
So would you like to comment on this, Mr. Weber?
Yes, you're very right, Ankita. Moreover, there are certain key points that I'd like to share with regard to racism-based bullying. If any action is to be taken, then it should be within the framework of schools' behavior policies. And here I'd like to emphasize that it's not just a matter for teachers and youth workers only. In fact, all students should be involved in dealing with racist incidents. The role of teachers is to help learners understand their own behavior and, as appropriate, change it. This should not be limited to the use of reprimands and sanctions alone.
Yes, and for
Pardon, madam.
Please let him finish first. Thank you.
See, tackling racist bullying has two very important aspects: intervention and prevention. The first one, intervention, seems more urgent for